take it slow.
Welcome back with another video, another podcast, and today we're going to talk about TV shows that we think deserve another season, or they deserve to come back, like being remade or something, because they really ended on either a cliffhanger or the ending just didn't feel satisfying for us. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to say my first one's going to be the Tomorrow People. It was a reboot of another show that came out a long time ago. But this one is the 2013 version. This one was it was really good. Like, this is one of the shows that when it came out, it could have rivaled any one of the shows that came out. I think it was on the CW at that time. Like, I think Teen Wolf was still going and all that stuff. But this was one of the shows where I think they really had a gem on their hands. But when the first season ended, they cancelled it. I'm trying to look up the description now to give you, a little idea of what that was about. And
I think I've heard about the show. I'm not too sure.
I'm pretty sure you should have, because this show, I think it was really good. So what it was about was, I think this set of humans that basically develop supernatural powers, like the 3 T's, I think is what they call it, which is telekinesis, teleportation, and telepathy.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like the next step of human evolution or pre-evolution. I don't think the show was very specific as well who came first. Whether it was them or the humans. Basically, they had all these abilities, but at the same time, the major flaw or the major design of them was that they couldn't kill people.
Oh.
Like, if they tried, it was like whatever was inside them biologically would cause them serious pain if they tried to kill someone. Like, they could bring people to the brink of death, but any further than that is basically a death sentence for themselves. And I really do think this show should come back, even if it's not the same cast, because this show did come out a really long time ago, and most of them are really old now. But this is really one of those shows that should come back.
Well, one of the shows I think should definitely come back, because the ending was like, I don't know, maybe some people would be satisfied with it, but personally I think it should come back. It's called Who Are You? The school 2015 version. Because that was
the
just
Korean show.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, I don't know, it just enticed me so much, like the entire way through.
Just the premise is so good with the 2 girls,
Like, just the plot alone, I was like, yo, like, this is a really
they keep you on
plot.
a tight line. Like, is she dead? Is she alive? What happened to the night?
It's like you never know until the end, and then they just drop an episode explaining everything and then leave. Like,
here you go, here's your explanation, and we're done. Yeah,
finish, like, make another season to just show like what's happening now and what's happening next, because there can be like loads more problems with twins being together, twins that some people thought were dead and stuff like that.
Exactly. Now all of a sudden they're together.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think they should definitely make a new season.
Yeah, when I'm gonna rewatch again, because I think I watched it like episode 5, and then because I don't know what show I watched, but I watched a Korean show and I was like, damn, this show broke my heart. I'm never gonna watch another sad Korean show again.
Yeah.
So when I googled it and people were like, oh, the ending's sad, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna finish this, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to hack another show like that. But yeah, my show is another one of my shows is Terra Nova. Actually, I think Disney is on Disney Plus now. It was on Netflix, but it's not anymore. I think when it came out in 2011, I was watching another YouTube video the other day that said it was one of the most expensive first episodes to drop.
Oh wow!
At that time, it cost a couple mil. Yeah.
Wow.
And the views were there, and I think as well, but. Which is why I really don't understand why the show was cancelled, because it was so good. It was basically so it's like the present Earth is basically going through extinction. So what they do is they develop a teleportation device, and they go back in time to the time of dinosaurs.
Oh wow!
To try and save the planet, basically. And then as soon as like the story was like starting to pick up, and they were trying to drop clues and hints as to what the real, like, the present Earth is like, like the future Earth, the show is cancelled.
Oh my gosh.
You're left on this massive cliffhanger, and you're left unsettled because you're like,
What happens
yeah,
next?
what happens next? What happened?
Yeah.
What's going on? You know,
I hate when shows do that.
it's the absolute worst. Like, at least tell these writers and these directors and stuff, like, yeah, we'll tell you ahead of time that you're not gonna get another season.
Yeah.
So, you know, try and wrap up everything you can. Season 1.
That's right.
Don't leave any cliffhangers. Don't just wrap it up.
That's why I feel like if you know you're not gonna make a part 2 or next season, just finish it up in that.
Exactly. It's like they're like, yep, and the writers are there like, yep, we're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger, and we're gonna come back for season 2, and then the execs are like, bruh,
No season 2.
Yeah, no season 2. Sorry, go somewhere else.
Just ends on a big cliffhanger.
Exactly.
One show that's known for its cliffhangers is Cobra Kai. Now, in the first,
haven't watched Cobra Kai. Man.
Oh,
I watched the original Karate Kid movies and stuff, but
yeah,
I'm just having a hard time kind of getting into Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is really good. I watched it on YouTube Premium. I think it was years ago. I watched season 1.
Yeah, because I remember they were dropping stuff on
Yeah.
YouTube Premium, and I was like, I might watch it, and then I never watched it. It dropped on Netflix, and I watched the first episode, but then I was like, that's not for me.
No, I only started watching on Netflix. I think it was season 2, and season 2 was one of the biggest cliffhangers. The ending of season 2.
I heard about the ending. Even saw some clips on YouTube.
Spoiler alert, by the way. But the main character, how he breaks his back, because
I think he got kicked off some stairs.
Yeah, he got kicked off a stairway and landed flat on his back on the railing. I was like, ouch, firstly. Secondly, it's just the worry that there was so much to think about. And then they just dipped for a good year. They just dipped. They came back. Big season 3 announcement. He recovers. He's nice. Everything's going well.
Yeah.
Like, they're engaging. Then he gets back into karate. It's like, it's a really nice story. And then the 2 biggest like karate dojos in the area are going against each other. There's Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. They come together. There's like the arch enemies come together, which is like, it's good for people who watch Karate Kid back in the day and people who are like the new kids who are watching Cobra Kai today.
Yeah, one thing I did like about that was the way they try and get both generations of people involved and try and mix it.
And it works as well.
Yeah, and another thing I like is that when I did watch the first episode, it was kind of like, in the first couple Karate Kid movies, you know who's the villain.
Yeah.
You know, Cobra Kai is the villain. He was such an asshole. He was such a this. He's the villain. But then you watch like the first episode, and it's like, wait, hold up. Why is Daniel such an asshole, man? I thought you were supposed to be the good guy. Why are you such a prick?
Yeah, it gets confusing.
Yeah. So I did like that mix. I did like that kind of switch on characters and personalities. One's, you know, living his life, is successful.
Yeah.
But then, you know, one's not so successful, but he's still managing to live his life, and you know. But I did kind of like that. But the show still wasn't for me.
Yeah. I just wish that they bring out a new season because it has potential. It's a really big show and it's growing as well. So.
Okay. I know that they do have a really good cult like following right now. So I do think they will get another season, even if they have to petition for it.
Yeah.
Like one of the shows I wish had that kind of a cult following was The Secret Circle.
Ooh.
That came out in 2011.
Yeah.
I don't think you've watched it, but
why not?
When this dropped, I really loved this show. I think it was this girl Cassie.
Right.
Well, there's a whole backstory. It's kind of hard to explain everything now, but I'm trying to break it down. So, her mom basically dies. Spoiler alert. I should have said that first. Her mom basically dies, and she has to go back to her mom's hometown. And, you know, these other teenagers there that used to be in her mom's basically witch circle are like, you know, your mom used to be a witch. We want you to join our coven and whatnot. But it's really interesting show the way everything just like it's kind of like the mindset of, you know, snakes in the grass. There's the snakes in your circle kind of concept. Like the way that the villain manipulated his way into the parents' coven, and then he came back and he managed to manipulate his way into the kids' coven to get exactly what he wants.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was such an interesting show. And then the cliffhanger was like, spoiler again, I'm saying this ahead of time, this time, is that the main villain basically wanted to start his own like coven of witches with just his bloodline.
Oh gosh.
Like just his bloodline of the strongest witches. And then at the end of the show, it's like the main character, Cassie, and another character from the circle find out that they're related. like sisters, because the dad was messing around in the circle. And then it ends with that this one sister's leaving, and then it kind of pans over to this rock, and then you see the main antagonist, like the rest of his kids, show up on this cliff looking over the town, and then no season 2 comes. It's like all that build up, you're like, oh shit, season 2 is about to pop off, and then no season 2.
And that came out years ago.
Yeah, like 2. Yeah. But what really pisses me off with CW is, even though they've cancelled all these shows like after one season, they still have the nerve to be on Facebook and Instagram promoting like, oh, go watch Secret Circle, go watch this, like it's brand new and that there's more than one season. Like what are you doing?
Like, go and watch it just to get left on a cliffhanger.
Just to be left disappointed.
That's what happened with Lucifer. They moved Lucifer from Amazon to Netflix, but not the first 2 seasons. They only started on season 3 or 4.
Season 4 they started off on Netflix,
And I started watching it, and it was really, really good. Season 4, and it's like cool.
It's a very interesting take on like the devil and everything.
Yeah, it's like, especially like from a religious perspective, you have to think like that must be just an interesting plot overall.
Yeah. To
see how, that's just cool. But
really interesting. Even if you're religious, that it's not like, say, the adventure of Sabrina. Is that what it's called on Netflix? It's not as dark. It's not as, praise Satan and all that kind of stuff. It's very much down to earth, and a very much like that's a very interesting take on the devil. Maybe this and this gets you thinking. It's not saying I'm not going to be a sinner or anything, but it's a very interesting take on the devil and everything.
Yeah, it really is. But then with their new season, in season 5 overall, and season 2 on Netflix, they came back after, I think it was a really long couple of months, or
I think they threatened with cancellation again.
Oh gosh!
Because after season 3, it was like they were like the network dropped them, and then it was the fans that were petitioning, other celebrities and stuff petitioning, saying, "Bring Lucifer back, and then Lucifer, then Netflix picked up for season 4.
Yeah.
And then after a while, people are like, after season 4 ended, people are like, yo, where's season 5?
Pretty sure at one point they wanted to remove the guy who plays Lucifer for another cast. I was like, it just wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same. Like even now, what is it coming to season 6, or they're doing a season 5 part B?
Yeah. Oh.
Is it a season 5 part B, or would they call it season 6?
No, I think it's season 5.
Yeah, because when I heard that they're doing another season, they were like, oh, well, Tom Ellis, which is the main guy that plays Lucifer, he's not going to play Lucifer again. It's going to be... he plays Damon in TV, the vampire, Ian Somerhalder. And I was like, that's cool, but it's not going to be the same, you know what I mean? The accent's going to change and everything. It's just not going to have that same charisma. Yeah. He does have that cocky, but you know what I mean? It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I get you. But then, I just don't like the way that they left it on a cliffhanger. Like, they came back with a season 5, which is what everyone was asking.
They keep saying on Netflix, new season coming soon, but it's been months. Like, Netflix, when is that next season gonna drop? Seriously.
It's been almost a good year now.
For real, man. And another show that's kind of like The Secret Circle and Lucifer is The Witches of East End. Like, I think this was a remake of another show that came out a long time ago called like The Witches of East End or something.
Yeah.
But this one is basically about a family of witches. And the premise of it is one sister is cursed with, was it immortality? Or she has 9 lives or something, like a cat. And the other sister is basically cursed to live a long life and keep giving birth to her children on a repeated cycle.
That sounds
so
painful.
Yeah, it's like the kids will. So throughout the years, it's like she'll raise them and then they'll die, and then she'll give birth to them again. Then she'll raise them and then they'll die, and she'll give birth to them again. Wow. And it's like with each like incarnation of her life and incarnation of different children, they all live and die like a different amount of time.
Yeah.
So say they might die around when they're 10 and stuff, or they might die around it when they're in their 20s or that. But I don't think they've ever made it past like their 30s.
Wow.
So anyway, in this incarnation of the present life, they ones, they kind of start to develop their powers, and they find out that they're witches, and I think spoiler alert, that they might be witch royalty.
Oh wow.
In the underworld or wherever they're from, because I forgot. But yeah, if you haven't watched
That
it,
sounds pretty sick.
it's a really good show. In season 2, it ends on a massive cliffhanger.
Oh gosh.
Which is why I put it down. The cliffhanger for season 2 is really, really disappointing, because you're wondering, a bunch of stuff happens to the sister, and you're like, wait, who's that? What did this guy do to the sister? Wait, what? This guy is on a ship somewhere. How's he supposed to get to this girl and tell her that she loves him?
Yeah.
But this brother's turning evil. Like, what's going? Like, so much stuff is happening. It's like, well, no season 2 for you, bro. I mean, it's no season. But yeah, it's really interesting show. I don't know where you're gonna be able to watch it now, because it's not on Netflix and it's not on Amazon for free. So
I don't know why they do, like, shows will be really big and then they'll just not carry it on. Like, it's making you money. Just deliver us what we want. We want a new season. We want a new part. Just
like, even if the viewership is low, like I was saying before, at least give the writers a lot of time and say, you know what, it's episode 5 or it's episode 10 and the views aren't picking up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give you 10 more episodes, wrap it up, because you're not gonna get season 2.
Yeah. That would be fair.
And if the season does end on a cliffhanger, they could just say, alright, just for the viewers that have already watched the show, we'll give you one more season, 10 episodes, 8 episodes, wrap it up within those episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead, you're left on this big, massive cliffhanger, and they're trying to persuade you to go watch the same season 1 again.
Yeah. It's like, there's John Wick, Parabellum, which is the one where he has the bounty on his head. That was just full of things, because we've already been introduced with John Wick 1 and 2 as this badass character. He's like
the boogeyman,
undefeatable
Baba Yaga.
Yeah. That's just such a cool nickname, firstly. And it's like, it just always, every time there's a new John Wick, it's like, yes, he's about to go and kill everyone.
He's about to go ham. It's about to be a badass fights in a bunch of blood.
And then in the end of this one, spoiler alert, but in the end of John Wick 3, they end up kicking him off of, like, they end up beating him up bad, like loads of guys, and then they kick him off of this high stone building. And it's like everyone thinks he's dead, but
then he survived.
He ends up surviving, and he looks mad. So everyone's hyped up, like, oh, he's about to recover, come back.
Dropped yet. Not season 4, but the 4th movie.
Yeah, and it's been a year. I'm almost positive it's been a year, probably even more.
I'm pretty sure they said there's gonna be a 4th
it's been
one.
2 years,
but it's been pretty long now. They said that they're gonna do a 4th one, but they said they're also gonna do a female spin-off.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to just hurry up and drop both of those movies, man. Like, seriously.
Like, I know that with COVID and stuff, it's hard for actors to direct and stuff. Yeah, it's hard for that. But the John Wick Part 3 was made in 2019, and obviously they probably would have already started their casting and stuff for the next movie. So
it's kind of preparing and everything.
Yeah.
Well, just because I feel like we need more werewolf-based TV shows on, like, everywhere. To be honest, there's very little werewolf TV shows, even movies.
That's true.
And if it is a movie, it's more horror gore based. I mean, I enjoy them, but
I'd rather some nice supernatural.
Exactly, because if it was me and I wanted to be a werewolf, I wouldn't want to be one where it's like, as a human, you're useless, and then you lose control of yourself on a full moon, waking up bloody naked somewhere. You know what I mean? So, going off that topic, there was this show called The Gates that came out in 2010. And what it is basically this community where everyone on this community is some form of supernatural creature. Whether it's werewolves, vampires, succubus, all the residents are basically supernatural creatures.
That sounds sick.
Yeah. Jackson from Teen Wolf is in this, Colton Haynes. He plays a werewolf in this one. And I'm telling you, the show's really good. But it ends on a cliffhanger as well, like a massive war kind of starts out in the community.
Yeah.
And then the only human family that is actually gets to live on the residence, while everyone else is pretending to be normal. They're the only human family that gets to live there after he loses his job somewhere else. So after all this shit starts popping off in the final episodes, it ends, and then there's no season 2 to wrap it up.
Oh wow.
So you're left on this metal battlefield, wondering if people are dead, wondering who survived, and there's no season 2.
Wow.
Do you have another show to talk about?
Yes, most certainly. On My Block. Amazing series, man. I just say, like,
I haven't watched
such
On
an
My
amazing
Block yet.
series. It's so
I
good.
know the premise, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's really good. I started watching it. Oh, it says 2020 here, but I think that was because that's when the last season came out, which
Yeah,
was season 3. But season 1 came out 2018, 2019, probably. I think probably 2019.
Yeah.
And like it was just such an amazing show. There was one cliffhanger, spoiler alert, where
Or is that when Thingy gets shot?
yeah, where Ruby gets shot. Now all over Twitter, all over Instagram is like, if Ruby's not in the next season, I'm not watching it. So like maybe they
Oh yeah,
changed
because it was
kind
of they threw it up in there like, is
Yeah.
Ruby dead or is this
Mhm.
is the girl dead? Yeah.
It's like you guys don't get to make the decisions. If he's not alive,
Yeah.
no one's watching the show. That's how it was. But they made another cliffhanger. Like they were really good with cliffhangers at the end of
Yeah, I think that's a pretty dope cliffhanger to have.
Mm.
If you know there's gonna be another season.
Yeah.
Not one where it's like, oh my god, is he gonna live? Is he gonna die? But then there's no season 2.
Like with this one, it says final season coming soon. Now we don't know when soon is, but at least we
I
have
hate
that
when
hope.
Netflix does that.
It really is annoying. Like I'd rather
But when
coming out next year, coming out next month, coming out, but it just says coming
I mean,
soon.
if it's been a couple of months and they're like, yeah, this next season comes soon, you're like, yes. But then a couple months after that, you need to drop a date. Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's like it can't be 2 months later and it's still soon. Like when
Exactly.
it's soon.
Like when it's soon.
Soon
Netflix.
could be years. But yeah, the cliffhanger for the ending of season 3 was it's like everyone went their separate ways. The main guy went off to join his brother's gang.
Yeah.
The main girl went off to college, like in a completely different neighborhood. And then the Ruby guy and the black guy Jamal were still at the same school, but like they weren't even talking to each other. They would just walk past, like they haven't even met each other. So it was crazy, and it was kind of sad watching that. Watching after all they've been through, everyone just
the circle kind of falls apart. Yeah.
But then they pull us in together, and it's like the gang gets back together for one more mystery or to solve one more thing. I'm just like, wow, like that sounds cool. It's like, how are they gonna get back together? What is so important that
what's
this
the
guy's
driving
gonna leave
force?
his gang? This guy's gonna. It's confusing, but I'm ready for it, honestly.
This show that I'm about to talk about is not wealth related, but it's another supernatural show.
Yeah.
My favorite type of TV show and movie. Supernatural shows. Like, I love them. And it's the 9 Lives of Chloe King. This show came out in 2011. And it's basically about this girl. She figures out that she belongs to a race of supernatural beings that protect humans.
Oh, wow.
After she starts developing like cat-like abilities, like super strength, speed, agility, and the fact that, spoiler alert, she drops off a building and she comes back to life. Like she's literally got 9 lives, like the name says. Wow. I never finished this show, but I think this show is pretty good, and it's one that does need a second season because I don't really know why it was cancelled.
Yeah.
Or even if it doesn't get a season 2, it needs to be remade in this era with, the effects that this era can bring to it. And I'm not talking about the CGI fest TV series because that's rubbish. But makeup art is more developed and everything now, so it'd be dope to see a show like that now.
Yeah, I get you.
So that was one. I think it was a really interesting show. If you can find it somewhere, I think you have to pay for it on Amazon right now. I'm planning to buy it again soon and watch the whole season, since I don't think it's more than 10 episodes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
The episode should be like 40 to 1 hour minutes.
The usual 40-something minutes long.
Yeah. My show, right, that I like, I'm still watching it now, but I heard that it got cancelled. It's Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Yeah, it's such a nice show. Like, it's so, I don't know, it's like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like one of them chill shows.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, man.
It's having a new season.
If you don't know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was actually just recently, I don't know if it was cancelled or what, but they put a post up saying that they're not going to be back for another season.
Oh.
Yeah, I was on YouTube and I was like, wait, that has to be a lie. But it's not. They're not. I think, because I thought it was good, because they just did season 7.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, it's going to be season 8, and then, who knows. But then when they posted this, I'm like, so I'm just thinking to myself right now, is there still going to be a season 8?
Yes.
Or is it just finished?
Wow. So they're just gonna finish it like that.
Yeah.
But with Scorpions, like, I don't know. It's just I've never been that engaged in a show, especially such a show with like, it's a weird plot because like every episode is a
For
completely
geniuses,
different
yeah.
plot. But it's like because they're geniuses, they're always there to
They
figure
always
out.
figure it out.
And it's so cool. Like I've learned more about things from Scorpion than I actually have in my lessons.
Yeah.
Only because I don't pay attention. But my Scorpion is just interesting. It's like I genuinely think that's a good show that needs to come back. Hopefully,
I
it
do
comes
think
back.
Scorpion was a good show. I think because I even just started watching it on a whim on Netflix.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and I was like, wow, this is really good because I do like detective shows and police shows.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking for what to watch next after I ran out of them, and Scorpion really got my interest.
Mm.
And then what really wanted to keep me watching was the chemistry between the main character and the girl that helps them
Paige,
act like normal human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, spoiler alert, this got spoiled for me too. But I heard that they broke up in the show, and I was like, wow, how? Like, no, like, no, don't do that. But going off of that, The Messengers. It was a show that came out in 2015. This was basically kind of like Lucifer, but a bit more gritty. It's basically about certain people that were chosen by God to be his, like, to stop the apocalypse, essentially.
Oh.
Because you have the horsemen, and they're called the the seven sins or something, that have come back, and they're trying to start the apocalypse and destroy Earth.
Oh gosh.
And the devil's the one that starts it, but then by the end he's like, well, yeah, I want to mess around on Earth, but I don't want it completely destroyed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's just about these people being chosen by God. They develop abilities, like one develops super strength.
Oh wow.
Another girl develops healing abilities. Another guy can read people's minds.
Yeah.
Another guy can control electricity. Another girl can basically turn, like, her soul leaves her body, and she could travel around. But it's a really interesting show, and I was really disappointed when on the final episode, spoiler alert, what basically happens is they say that one of the main character's daughters is basically the Antichrist.
Oh.
And the other guy, another character's son, is basically the one that's supposed to stop the Antichrist.
Oh my gosh.
He's supposed to be the incarnation of Michael.
Yeah.
You know, the angel Michael.
Right.
And then after all this drops, they're like, and then the devil shows up to the girl, and her eyes and her face basically turn upside down, and she's like, "Hello, Father." There's no season 2.
Oh wow!
And I'm like,
I would be mad.
And I'm like,
I haven't even
what?
watched it.
This show isn't even old. It's 2015.
Yeah, I would be so mad.
I was bummed, man. I was seriously bummed.
That sounds like such a good ending, but there's no more. Like I would expect so much more from that. Another show, I get exactly what you mean. With Ragnarok, right?
Yeah.
It's a really cool show. It's not English. There's English subtitles, so it's a really good show. It's like,
but if you can put it on English, if you want to.
It's based on I think it's based on like 4, but before all of that, it's nothing to do with like Marvel, but it's just a similar concept to 4, like being the god of lightning and stuff like that. He's just like a normal school kid. He's not normal. He's
once he moves back. Well, he's normal until he moves back home.
Yeah,
he moves back home, and that's when he starts developing better eyesight, and he starts getting all this supernatural stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like to see him randomly start running up mountains like it's nothing.
Like it's nothing. Throwing hammers like it's nothing.
But then, the cliffhanger on this is like, as soon as we realize, and he realizes too, that like he knows who he is. He gets his hammer to his hand, like he's actually Thor and stuff like that, and then it's just done. And this came out last year, and
it's still season 2 is coming though.
Yeah, we haven't even got a soon.
No date yet.
Yeah, but I really hope that they have a new part.
Yeah, he's I think a reincarnation of Thor's son, Magni. But yeah, I did love that show. I'm so glad you recommended that to me.
Yeah.
And this show I'm going to talk about now. It came out in 2019. It was Swamp Thing by DC. And after they released this first season, it wasn't even like the 5th episode before they dropped and said, "Yo, we're canceling this. It's not coming back for another season. And I don't think it had anything to do with the script or the ratings or anything. They were just like, this shit's too expensive, so we're not doing it anymore. So that really bummed me out. I felt like it was a really good show. It had Crystal Reed from Teen Wolf in there.
Oh,
I was really liking that show. Allison, yeah. So yeah, I'm so bummed when they cancelled that.
That's annoying. There's a lot. Oh, it's always the shows that as soon as you're getting into and you're expecting that bit more, it just ends and that's it.
Nothing else. You're just left with that irritating. I hate that.
There's Bucky, right? Bucky. There's loads of ways to pronounce it, but I pronounce it Bucky. Is an anime, right? Really good anime, and there were the first 3 parts. I think they all.
It's funny because I watched the first couple episodes and I told you to watch it, but then I never finished it.
Yeah, it's really good, really good recommendation. All 3 parts came at the same time, but the third part, the last part, is like what everyone's been waiting for, and then it's just no climax. Like there's nothing to it.
I don't think there's been a mention of another season yet, has it?
No, there hasn't. It doesn't say new season coming soon. No season. No, nothing like that.
No, I think for shows like this, you really have to be quick with it. I know that a lot of animes even very rarely get season 2s and stuff unless they're really popular. But I think a lot of them have the potential to go much further than their first season.
Yeah.
But they never get the time to because they're always cancelled after the first season on the assumption that, well, it did poorly now, so it's going to do poorly again. Which I feel it goes, like, a lot of shows are like that as well.
Yeah.
But the next show is Teen Wolf.
Oh my gosh.
The 2011 version, the reboot. Not the old Teen Wolf movies with, I forgot his name now, the actor, Michael J. Fox or something.
I have no idea.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved almost every season of Teen Wolf. And I love when, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Teen Wolf, when Scott becomes Alpha, or when I started first noticing like that he was becoming Alpha in season 3 and stuff, I was like, Scott's about to be a gangster.
Because like you follow him from the beginning.
Yeah. And then you watch it and it's like, you're just watching his journey, he becomes an Alpha, you're like, what, Scott's going to be badass, he's not going to be beat up every minute anymore. And then, season 3, he gets beat up. And you're like, okay, I understand, he's just learning to control his alpha powers and stuff. And then season 4, it's like, yeah, Scott, he's a gangster, but then he's getting beat up.
Yeah.
And then he's pretty much getting beat up throughout the rest of the show, doing very little that we've seen other alphas do. It's like, even though you love the show and you love Scott, what they did there kind of really makes you feel like they nerfed him somehow. Especially at the end of season 4 when he gets back up after and he beats Peter up. And you're like, well, shit, season 5 Scott's about to be,
And then it just goes back down to getting beaten up again. Like,
I don't know why they did that, but you can't build up people's expectations of alphas by bringing up all these past alphas and them being badass and powerful, especially Deucalion.
Oh,
you cannot have an alpha like Deucalion come into the show and then make Scott useless the rest of the seasons. You know what I mean? But yeah, this show does need another season because the season 7 cliffhanger. No, not season 7. The season 6 cliffhanger. That bummed me out, man. That ending did not satisfy me. I expected much more from that ending. Like, the main villain escapes.
Yeah.
And then it's like fast forward into the future. They're like, there's hunters everywhere now, but in some places people live in harmony. And then they walk off into the night. Like
that's not good enough.
Yeah, that's not good enough. I need more. Like, I know that on Instagram they're saying, I should, don't ask them about it, beg the networks and stuff. But I really would like to see season 7 or a good 1.5 hour or 2 hour long movie just to wrap up everything.
That'll be good.
Yeah. But apart from that, that's my take. What about your take?
I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I think I would prefer a movie rather than a season 7.
Yeah,
Because
because
a movie you could just sum it up and then we're done.
exactly. Plus, we'll get season 7, and people will be like, season 8. You know,
It's just gonna keep going on and on. So you need to wrap it off with a movie or some sort of spin-off or something. I think that'd be good.
Do you have any other shows on your thing, or
no.
if the rest it's just gonna be me? I think so. Another show that came out a pretty long time ago was Chuck. It was on Amazon, but it's not anymore. It was on Netflix, but it's not anymore. And what it is this guy, he basically gets a supercomputer in his brain, and he starts working for the government doing spy things. And the ending of this one, spoiler, his girlfriend, his wife, basically loses her memory of him and everything, and then they're sitting on the beach and it ends. But then there's a lot of rumors from the actors and stuff that they're gonna do a movie, they're gonna do this and that. But I would really like to see a movie or another season where this is wrapped up. Does she remember him? Does she not remember him? You know, after all this build up from season 1 to 5 of would they, won't they, and then they finally get together, and then everyone's like yes, and then they get married, and everyone's like yes, and then she loses her memory, and everyone's like
I think a movie's just what all series should do to just wrap things up instead of another season, because everyone's just gonna keep asking for more and more. Just wrap it up.
This is a show that's on Netflix. I think you should really watch it when you have the time. It's called Superstition.
Oh, I've seen it. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it on my recommended.
I've watched it. It's such a good show for the amount of episodes that it has and what they try to do within that short span of time with the episodes. What is, you know, like what is going on with these TV networks cancelling such good shows? But yeah, that bummed me out, man. Another show on Amazon Prime is Into the Badlands. I think you can still watch it for free on Amazon Prime. But yeah, if you haven't, Alex, you need to watch Into the Badlands too. The fight scenes, the action sequences, the story, everything is interesting. It's basically, say, what's wrong with that guy? Say the Earth is basically gone back to a time where electricity is limited. You know, guns are basically a rare resource. So people are fighting hand-to-hand combat with swords and stuff. And then you have like these district leaders called barons, who basically run their turf and they deal in different things. So one might be doing like flowers like poppies that make clothes and everything. But yeah, the show's really interesting. The action sequences are really good, and I do think it needs another show. And going on for another one of my recommendations, a show that you still haven't watched is Grimm.
Oh yeah, you've told me about that.
Grimm, which ended on a somewhat cliffhanger because it's in the final season. They fast forward and it's like you see his son and his daughter. They've been aged up, so they're adults now, and they're the ones doing the Grimm hunting.
Yeah.
And then it finishes with them with the writers and everything say thank you for watching in different languages. And then there's been a lot of speculation saying there's going to be another season, but is that season going to be about the kids now with the parents dropping in every now and again, or is it going to be about
the parents,
someone else completely
different person?
Yeah,
it could be both somehow. Just depends.
And this is a show I know you definitely haven't watched, but it's Twisted. It's called Twisted. It's a CW show from 2013. So this kid basically kills his aunt with a red skipping rope on a swing while his two friends are there inside the house. They run back inside the house and they kind of see him holding the red skipping rope while his aunt's lying there dead.
So he did it on purpose?
No, you just have to. I don't want to spoil it. Of course, yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, and you're like, that part right there at the start of the show already gets you hooked.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And then, fast forward later, he goes juvie, and he's been in juvie for a bunch of years, and now he's been released. And now he's released, he's out, he's trying to connect with his old friends again, and then more of the story starts to come out. And I'm going to say spoiler alert right here, because you then find out that he wasn't the one that killed his aunt.
Oh.
It was his dad.
Oh my
and that
gosh.
he took the fall for his dad and then went to juvie.
Oh my.
And the whole while people are like, well, your dad's dead, bro.
He's still gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's just.
And then as the story goes along further, they're like, well, nah, son, your dad's not dead. You know, they just keep dropping those. And then when it comes to the final episode, you know, everything's falling out on the table. This girl has a secret brother that that she never knew about, that the mom and the dad had with someone else, and he knew the main character that went to juvie for his dad.
Yeah.
And then after all this stuff happens, there's no season 2.
Oh my gosh.
Again, it's left on this massive cliffhanger. So that's another show that I'd like to see like done again. It deserves another season. It just doesn't be done justice.
Yeah.
And just to end this, I want to ask you if there's any shows that you'd like to be remade, like completely remade, not like left another season, just like remade. It could be a show from a long time ago that you want to see how it would be done with like this time's effects or makeup and that stuff, you know.
I want to see another Karate Kid. I don't know why.
Another Karate Kid.
Because yeah, Cobra Kai is cool, but like the movie Karate Kid, like how they had the one first and then they had the one with Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
I want to see like a new one.
Another one.
Yeah.
A show that I would like slap like that snowing in my video. Another show that I would like to see is this show came out in. Well, I'm gonna say 2 shows because, you know, like I was saying earlier, I want to be more wealth-based shows.
Yeah.
And that one is Wolf Lake, that came out in 2001, and the other one is Big Wolf on Campus, which came out in 1999. Big Wolf on Campus is this guy. He's on this camping trip, and then with his friends, he gets bit by a werewolf. Then goes back to school, and then, you know, there's a lot of character development. He even becomes friends with someone that, you know, it was a goth and emo. Yeah. He was hated by everyone. And the story goes, he just starts fighting other supernatural creatures as the story goes along. Supernatural creatures that may be kidnapping kids or werewolf slayers or vampire slayers and things like that. And the story, trust me, it's one of the best werewolf shows I've watched as a kid in 1999. Especially the makeup and the music. The music was familiar. And Wolf Lake, I've only watched a couple episodes of that one, but it's basically about this werewolf girl that gets killed, and then by another werewolf, and then her husband or boyfriend, whoever it was, moves back to her town to figure out what was going on because he got a whiff that the killer might be back in her hometown.
Yeah.
But the kicker there is that most of the people in her hometown are werewolves. Like her parents are werewolves. Like most of everyone else in the community are werewolves, you know?
Mad.
So, yeah. And then Angel, which came out in 1999 as well, which is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer spin-off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'd really like to see that one done with this generation's effects and stuff as well, because if you look at it back then compared to now, I think the show would be really good. That's which was one reason I didn't ask for another season, because it did end on a cliffhanger. Was because all the actors are too old to do that. So, yeah. You really can't think of anything else that you wanna, no movie, no TV show, no that you'd like to see remade.
I think there is remade. I'd have to go and look for a list of old TV shows.
Okay, should we leave that for another video then? Yeah. Right. And again, you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the podcast. If you think there's anything that needs to be improved, please leave your comments in the comment section below, and you already know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions for me or any recommendations for me to watch, just, you know, leave it in the comment section below, or send me an email in my email that I've left in the description box below. Thank you for watching.